Greetings and welcome to the Supply Drop episode 46, a game podcast created by three people who like making podcasts. My name is Nate. I'll be your host. I'm joined by two other co-hosts today. The first of which is Scott.
Hello, everybody.
Scott, what does what does this mean? Quote, it's official. I am a narrator for the movie 21-22, end quote. What does that mean, Scott?
That means that I voiced a part of the movie, a narration. It's a documentary. So when you watch the movie, there's probably going to be text on the screen and I will be reading it. So
wait, and what is the movie about?
I'm not sure. If I had to guess, it's probably something to do with... Well, they don't really tell you a lot. They don't tell you anything before you actually, they just tell you what you know.
Are you under NDA?
No.
No? Okay.
Well, I don't know why. They didn't tell me anything.
Okay.
But they did tell me,
right?
yeah, they did tell me the name of the documentary, and then that's pretty much it. So if it gets made and it gets out there, then I will actually have credit on the movie and probably IMDb.
And of course, everyone knows your voice from there's a Skyrim mod.
There
in
is.
Which you play a character. I looked for you. I looked for you once. I went through like 30 YouTube videos.
Yeah, I played a character. I believe his name is Untath. And if you go to YouTube, the easiest thing is just go to YouTube. How do I kill Untath? And, and I'm in there. And I gave them like 4 death screams, and they used the worst one. But
oh, really?
Yeah, but that's okay. That's that's their gig.
All right.
So it's a lot of fun.
Exciting.
Fun stuff.
The other voice you just heard is our third co-host, none other than Thick. Thick, say hello.
Hello. Hello.
Right.
Hello.
Thick, you're the most valuable member of the Supply Drop this week because you actually attended the Xbox Showcase yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Yes.
Just tell us this because we'll get into it later. What time did you get in the car, and then what time did you come back home? Just give us that exit and enter.
Okay, well, I'll tell you kind of how the day went. I stayed at a friend's the day before, just okay. It's in LA, right? So I flew in the night before, stayed over, and then I went to I forget the exact location. I think it's the LA Convention Center. It's like downtown, but it's like we check in. There's a line to check in. There's a fair amount. This is around 8:30, so we're the showing's at 10, right? It was very well managed, I would have to say. I appreciate how well managed it was. They gave me swag. I got a glass. A glass pint glass, a free Starfield bomber jacket that I could customize. Yeah.
Huh?
There's a lot of cool stuff they gave out. They didn't give okay. Well, I'll talk about something a little bit later, but they gave us a couple free swag. Tote bags, little mini backpack or whatever. But yeah, it was nice. We all sat in the theater basically, and nothing's live, right? Phil came out for like a slight announcement. He's very candid, talking about how he knew 2020 was 2022. Was a light year. And he also talked about how he was emotional in that podcast. So I appreciate his candor, yeah. Like it's, you gotta give him respect for that. Like not only he was really like it was nice to see him. I didn't get to see him up close. There was a meet and greet later, but any case, it was like watching it at a theater. It was very intoxicating. Like things that you probably watch on like on the screen or like your monitor. It's like it's just not the same. Like there's like such a spirit to the crowd. And it's kind of funny when
E3,
yeah, and it's kind of funny when certain things, and I'll probably talk about it while we talk about the showcase, like when they showed up there, like you could kind of gauge the crowd's reaction to it. It's very interesting.
I know I know I went to a Bruce Springsteen concert a long time ago, and I remember being like, when everyone in that arena is singing the same words and like at Bruce Springsteen on the stage, it is a weird vibe, and I'm sure you get something similar,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like some of the things I saw there, like I was pretty excited for, but then I go online and it's pretty negative. But then I understand. I rewatch it and then I totally get where they're coming from. But yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. Okay.
Okay. One thing. Okay. Afterwards, there was like about 3 hours of activities, and I'll share one funny story because it's like it went on for a while. They gave us a lot of free food, which is awesome. Photo ops, and then like some giveaways, some stage shows. Like they had some fans come up, and there was a box, and you had to guess what was in it. The crowd knew what was in it, but they were very generous.
It's like jelly beans. You had to count them.
No, not jelly beans, but like for example, the first guy, there was a needler inside, like a mod, like it looked like a Nerf needler though. So, but the funny thing about it, like he got the needler. The next guy got like this really nice cyberpunk statue inside it. He guessed right. Then they also gave him the Starfield controller. I'm like, what?
What?
And I'm looking at the first guy. He only got on top of the needler. He got like a 6 months Game Pass. I'm like, bro, you guys totally gypped this guy.
Yeah, really.
And it's kind of funny. But I think that he talked to one of the hosts and they probably figured it out. But like some other person also got a steering wheel, which was awesome for her.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's nice.
So
also original Xbox. Someone else got original Xbox.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I have my lighting set up back here in green. It's not because of Xbox. It's just envy. It's just
envy.
Okay. I'm green with envy. That sounds like a blast. Did you notice if Sarah Bond was like gluing something or putting together a model before she went on, because her fingers were kind of like stuck together the whole time.
Really?
Oh,
you didn't notice that?
I don't know.
Yeah, her fingers
what I know is like she came out a little bit afterwards. What do you call it? She came out afterwards, and she was when she was like telling us about the games, or like how hard everyone worked. She was kind of emotional about it. So I was a little taken back by that. But it's like it seems like everyone did a lot of hard work there. Like Pete Hines, Todd Howard all came out after the whole thing. I forgot who else. It might have been. I did see Aaron Greenberg. And I'll also mention I saw Jeff Keighley, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of it's interesting. I think like if you can get a ticket and like you're free that weekend, why not check it out? It's pretty nice experience. I've never been to a fan event like this. Like I've been to E3, which was more corporate,
right?
GDC, which is like just game developer focused. But this one was nice. I think this one's like one of the more fun ones.
Yeah, it was more for the fans. I mean, for people coming in. Yeah. Man,
Vic, in your estimation, how many people were in attendance?
A couple hundred, I think.
That's not that many. That's not that.
Not that many. Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're obviously we'll talk more about this later in the podcast. But in this week's podcast, we'll obviously be discussing. I have nothing written after that, but it's the showcases. We'll be talking about. And obviously the big showcase too, the Xbox.
The summer of gaming.
That's right. That's right. Before we get started, I want to remind listeners they can drop us a comment, question, or insult at the Supply Drop Podcast YouTube channel. Scott, tell us how your week was.
My week was if I close my eyes, I still see game trailers.
Oh my gosh!
So that was
like
that was pretty much
right there.
Yeah, I did play some more Diablo 4, and that was about it. Made level 40.
Exciting.
I'm still, for some reason, still in, I think, chapter 3 or whatever.
Oh, but, okay.
Yeah, I want my horse.
You need your mouse. Yeah.
I know. So anyway, but yeah, I'm still having fun with that. And but yeah, other than that, just just consuming all of this gaming information that we're getting. It seems like every 5 minutes.
Yeah. It reminds me of eating a bunch of cotton candy as a child.
How so?
Well, I just feel like you eat so much of it, and it's like you just start getting sick. You're like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
it's
I'm
like
done,
this is the best thing ever, and then you're done with it, and you're like, I don't ever want to eat it again.
Yeah, they always give you a lot too when you go buy it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and before we move on, I want to try to attack Scott here. Scott, a couple of weeks ago, you were playing that Warhammer first-person shooter, the retro one.
Boltgun. Yeah.
And I remember in there you said you were playing 3 or 4 hours of it, and you were loving it. And then I said we're gonna find out if he talks about this game the next week. You didn't talk about it the next week. Are you off that game, Scott?
No, I did play a little bit of it, but yeah, between trailers and everything, and just if I'm gaming right now, it's Diablo 4. Yeah,
Diablo 4 is priority.
It's very yeah, but I am going to go back to that because that game is a lot of fun.
So only one of its feet are in the backlog. It's still trying to like stay in the fresh rotation.
It is.
Okay, it's in the rotation.
I remember what all the buttons do.
Okay, that's big.
That's always a good sign.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, can I mention one thing? I did play a game which showed that wasn't Diablo 4.
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom?
No, it is not. It is. I actually played Remnant of the Ashes again. I started a new game with like a cousin, and yeah, it's a good time. I think some things don't hold up as well as they did before when they were fresh. But
what year did that game come out? What year? Roughly.
I remember 18, 19.
All right, so it's pretty fresh.
Yeah. You know what I really started to notice in the game is like everything is very polished. Like the sound design feels good, the gunplay is pretty good. Dodging feels pretty satisfying when you dodge whatever they shoot at you. So
I guess that bodes well for the sequel.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, and it's only $50 for the sequel. So I think I'm gonna get it because, you know, I think it's worthy of the support. Hopefully, no issues, of course, but yeah.
Okay. And again, this is like a Souls-like with guns. You described it before? Okay.
Souls-like co-op.
Co-op focused.
Cool.
Okay, nice. So I guess that's how your week went, Thick?
Yes.
One day we'll get you to talk about Zelda. One day.
Yeah. One day.
Yeah. Real quick, my week went. So I no longer have access to Zelda because it started feeling like work. Once the game starts feeling like work, you got to stop, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you sell it? You say you no longer have access?
I kept the receipt. You know
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But I did play roughly 20 minutes of the Final Fantasy 16 demo. Thick.
I was planning to, but not yet. Okay, yeah.
Here's the only thing I could tell you about this. This is what I have written down. The only thing I can say is that the story cutscenes never had me tapping X. So the first 20 minutes of the game, it kind of sets up something somewhat interesting with, you know, I'm telling you, I tap X on almost all story cutscenes, and this kind of has me like, okay, it certainly is anime-esque, like, you know, Japanese anime or JRPG, but then it has like that Game of Thrones type of vibe going in.
Which I think that's what they're going for, right?
Yeah, for sure. So, and everyone is very attractive in the game. Not a single unattractive person in that demo so far.
No, you won't have one.
Need more diversity.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's see. What do we do after this? Before we kick things off, we go to our listener feedback segment. Here is where listeners of the Supply Drop podcast participate in the discussion by going to the Supply Drop podcast YouTube channel and dropping a question, comment, or devastating insult. Let's go over to our listener feedback correspondent, Thick, and see what he has for us this week. Don't disappoint us this week. I'm starting to blame you for this.
I don't see any comments. I was hoping for insults, but we didn't get any either. So nothing this week.
We're treading water at this point.
Treading water, yeah.
All right, this week's listener feedback segment was brought to you by the color yellow, making sunflowers, lemons, and school buses better since the dawn of time. Thanks, color yellow.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel with these.
Well, we can only get so many sponsors, right? Yellow.
That's true.
Did us a solid.
Yeah, and we had the wig party last week, but all right, we got to go to the drop, the segment of our podcast where we talk about last week's most intriguing news stories. Scott,
Yep.
Are you going to bring up a showcase with this one?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, you're going last time. I'm going to do my quick news story first, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Capcom has officially announced Resident Evil Village has sold 8 million units. Obviously the game launched a little over 2 years ago. I think it's on everything, all consoles and PC, right?
Mm-hmm.
That to me, I guess I was slightly under. I thought maybe that thing would crack 10 million at this point.
Yeah, it seems like it had a good start, right? I think it hasn't outsold 7.
It and 7's the big one, right? Still,
I think that's still the big one. I mean, well,
I guess
we'll see what
just,
the remake's going to do, but
it feels when you're on the internet that Resident Evil's like kind of on the upward trajectory. It just feels like it's kind of a hotter and hotter franchise. And 8 million's obviously very good. I'm sure they're happy with 8 million, but I don't know. It just seems like are they ever going to get to 12 or 14, 16 million units? I don't know.
Yeah, that was the only Resident Evil I finished.
Right. But that's my only news story this week because we have bigger things to talk about later.
Oh yeah.
Thick, what was your news story this week?
Is it can it be showcase related?
I suppose it can because Scott is a showcase. Yes.
Okay. Wait. So Scott, which showcase you want to cover? Because there's tons this week.
Well, I mean, we're gonna have to cover, the Xbox one. We're all covering.
Okay.
Because there's a lot to talk about there. There's more to talk about there than maybe the Sony one. I don't know. What do you guys think? So,
we covered the Sony one already, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So if there's something you want to bring up, then we can go ahead and get into it.
I'll bring up the smaller ones. I think I listed a couple, and it's really hard to keep track of it. I can't say I, was able to watch all of them fully. It's just trailer after trailer. You get a little tired, right?
Yeah. For me, if it starts out on a farm, I'm probably skipping it. Yeah.
That's your takeaway, right?
That's
for a lot of it.
Pretty much.
But there's a couple of the smaller ones, because I want to give them a little spotlight. Day of the Devs, which is done by I Am 8-Bit and what's the Psychonaut studio? Can't remember
Double Fine.
Double Fine, yeah. They kind of sponsored this one, and this is a very indie dev focus. It's not purely trailers. The developers do a lot of talking in it. It's almost like they're showing off the game.
Yeah.
And there's a couple games that I really like seeing. Some of them aren't new, and it is called Henry Halfhead. I'm going to show you guys right here, and you guys can look at it yourselves.
Ooh. Puzzle game. It's a puzzle game.
Puzzle game-ish. It's I would say it's like a possession game. You know how you possess things in, was it Mario Odyssey? It kind of has that sort of ability. But it's tonally different. I think it looks intriguing enough. This could be a fun, I guess I don't want to not in the to say in the mean way, a humble bundle game. This is a game I'd love, just maybe a Game Pass. I'm not sure I would buy it, but it's a great interesting concept that could have some development in it that could be interesting.
Real quick, Scott, when Thick says how do you describe this game? It's a
possession.
When he said that, can you think of another possession game? I thought of Geist. Remember Geist on the Wii?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess maybe also Ubisoft's is it Watch Dogs? The third one where you can pick.
You can kind of do that.
Yeah.
Didn't there was a game from the
Chia, I think.
Yeah,
is that another one? Yeah, you're right.
And Second Sight. It was the guys that made Time Splitters. I believe you could possess people to make them open doors and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. We know video games.
Yep.
That's proof right there. That segment is proof
right.
that we know video games.
Proof.
We all came up with an obscure title that had possession.
Did you guys get to look at the trailer a little bit? I mean, I thought it was pretty interesting looking. Art-wise, it's cute.
Yeah.
But
I think it looks great. I mean, visually it looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That counts.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks decent enough. That's one thing I'll point out. Another game is Viewfinder, brought to you by the team that made The Witness, or at least some of the developers from that.
Isn't that Jonathan Blow?
Yeah.
I think so.
Or is it they just from his
this?
studio?
I'm not super familiar with The Witness, but I do know that it was 10 out of 10 for a lot of people at the time.
Yeah, it seemed like that was one of those early PS4 kind of critical hits, right?
Artsy games, right?
Yeah.
This does look like an artsy game. Basically, levels. You take pictures and then you hold the picture up to where you kind of want whatever's in the picture, and then anything that's in the picture gets imprinted into the world, and that's kind of like your puzzle solving. You're kind of creating platforms. Yeah, it's kind of trippy if you look at the trailer. Yeah. So that's another one. It was announced I think earlier this year or last year. But hopefully we see more of it.
Thick, are you a puzzle guy?
I am a puzzle guy.
Oh, you are. What's the last puzzle game you played? I just see you playing Overwatch.
Mm,
You know?
when I play puzzles lately, I play Picross. I think I mentioned that, right? Picross.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
I think you have.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Like these sort of other games, like where it involves a lot of manipulating the world, it's a little bit tougher for me and requires a little bit more sit down. But Picross is like an easy. I like it keeps my brain stimulated. That's about it.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Scott,
are you a puzzle guy?
I am if it's not necessarily a puzzle game. But if it's incorporated into a game,
you can enjoy it.
I can enjoy it. Layers of Fear is a good example of it. It's a horror game, but a lot of the things you're doing is manipulating the environment to, open a door or change this or get out of a situation, that kind of thing. So
okay. So would you be interested in Viewfinder?
No.
Probably not. Okay.
Too heavy. It's too heavy into that.
Yeah, I mean,
puzzle.
if it's a puzzle game, like you're just plopped down into a puzzle and you have to figure out, much like The Witness, I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
It made me feel dumb.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah.
Did anyone watch the Devolver one? I sent it to you guys.
Not yet.
I skimmed through that, but it was constantly like it felt like it was the SNL
It was a
skit.
skit. Yeah, it was
was
kind
the
of a
whole-
Yeah,
skit.
it is every year, but did
But
they
don't
have
they
trailers?
occasionally put a trailer in?
Yeah. They kind of honestly, if you watch the whole thing, like not trying to find the trailer, they do a very good job. They did a very good job this year trying to just like make the content for it and fitting in the trailers in a somewhat nice segue. So
Okay. Was the Devolver skit? Was it kind of making fun of? What was it making fun of?
it was kind of making fun of AI. They basically were like,
yeah.
there was a robot and they
I
were
wouldn't
saying
do that.
yeah, they were giving prompts to it, and then it's basically whatever game they were showing off. It's like, I would like a sequel to the Talos
Okay.
Principle, and then they
That's
showed
funny.
the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a fun watch.
Yeah,
I
they
think
do a good job with that.
I don't think I saw last year's, but in any case, the one that stuck out to me was Wizards with a Gun.
Oh yeah, that's who's making that one?
I don't know actually, but
I know what
Ooh,
you mean.
fail.
Is that
Yeah.
that looks like Don't Starve, like maybe a slightly prettier Don't
It
Starve?
does.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't really pay. All I did was I liked the artwork to that one. That one kind of went by real fast. I didn't really catch everything, but that's the one that stuck out to me.
Yeah. I think I heard about that game because I think the publisher of Enter the Gungeon. You guys heard about Enter the Gungeon? Have I told you about the beauty of Enter the Gungeon?
No, I've never heard of that game.
Yeah,
Okay,
what is
I'll
that?
do it off camera. I'll do that off camera. But the publisher who published Enter the Gungeon is also doing Wizard with a Gun.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, okay. That's really all I had. I know there was the Wholesome Direct. There's a couple games on that, but I don't think it's probably of interest necessarily. I actually do like how they presented it. I think it's pretty unique for what it does for the most part.
Okay.
It's a lot of very chill games, not like heavy objective based, I would say. Like you kind of take your time, you enjoy the atmosphere in a way.
Okay. Well, you're better than me and Scott because me and Scott did not champion the little man. We're not championing the little.
I
game
usually do
developer.
later. I kind of want to,
We can
kind of like
come
a
back
dessert.
to this later. Yeah.
I want to eat the steak first, and then
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
play with the fries later or whatever.
All right.
But
So did that sum up your news segment there, Thick?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I do want to ask, did anyone watch Future of Play Direct or the Future Game Show?
yeah,
Was it good?
I wouldn't
nothing really
say that
stuck out.
really. Which, funny enough, they showed Warhaven, which I think has been in every showcase I've seen.
I've
Is this
seen that,
game
yeah.
called Warhaven? And I still don't really know what it is. It looks like a giant medieval
like a
beat 'em
a
up.
siege game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a siege with, I don't know. I can't even describe it.
A lot of
but-
powers. Like your guy jumps like 30 feet in the air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wearing full armor and
Yeah.
stuff. But they
Yeah,
also, and then Lords of the Fallen. I've seen new gameplay of that, and that's turning out to not be just a Dark Souls clone. Did you guys see that?
No, what is it? Tell us what it is.
It is Dark Souls-like, obviously with the combat, but it looks like you have two different worlds that you're dealing with, like a light world and a dark world, and you have this lantern that you can shine on the light, and it does the reverse and shows you the dark world. So I think there's puzzle elements and there's environmental things that you have to manipulate with this lantern. Kind of like, it kind of reminds me of the Medium, where you have like the regular world and then the upside down or whatever from Stranger Things. And then you're using this light to kind of manipulate it. It looked way more interesting than that first trailer that they showed, which was just, here's a big dude swing sword at bigger dude, you know. So that might end up being something a little different and a little bit more than what it appears to be. So that was really the only thing I saw at the future game shows or whatever that kind of stood out for me.
Can you guys answer me how come we've gotten 1,000 Dark Souls clones over the years?
It's
they're
just
everywhere
like anything
now.
else. Yeah, I mean it's
but I feel like I know like Elden Ring has sold a ton, and I feel like the Dark Souls like 2 and 3 might have sold decent. It just doesn't feel like it's like it just feels too much for the success of the top dogs in the genre, right?
I would say don't go looking for it.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
It seems it might stick out more. I don't feel like there's that many. I think like there's a very.
I think there's too many.
A reasonable amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's a reasonable amount.
I mean, you could say that
Wow.
You know, Jedi Survivor is a Souls-like ish game, but it also has, you know, you can change the difficulty.
Yeah.
Right,
so I guess that kind of, you know, nixes it as an actual Dark Souls. And this game, this Lords of the Fallen might have one too. I don't know, but I have not popular opinions about those kind of games. But yeah, this game looks interesting. Check out the trailer. It looks different than the first game. Was basically just a clone of Dark Souls, and I didn't. It wasn't that great. Looked great, it wasn't that great. So, but that's really all I saw from that. So should we get into the Xbox? Because there's something that they showed that I really want to talk about.
Oh, what about the Summer Game Fest?
Do you want to do that first? We can do that first.
Might as well.
Thick, walk us through that.
The smaller one. Oh, I gotta walk? Okay.
Yeah, you have to. Okay. Because I'm not prepared for it.
You're not prepared. Okay.
It's like we had a group project to do, and I'm pushing you in front of.
All right, let me scramble to get my notes. But I mean,
everything shown at the Xbox is big. No. Everything shown at. This is when you go to Kotaku because they come through.
Yeah.
It's the only time
they
they
come
come
through.
through.
I don't want to give them. I don't want to give them ad rev. Okay. I'll see what we went. Okay, because I kind of went through this like not too long ago. But first thing down that was announced: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
That was the big end of the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it the end?
Yeah, that was the end of the show.
Okay. Then I'm not going in chronological order, but
yeah,
that's what they're putting as like their big thing, I guess. But does that tilt any meters for you guys?
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero. Okay.
I don't care. I don't own a PS5, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to go more through the original, so it does. This doesn't matter to me until I finish the remake. If I finish it, to be honest.
Oh, you haven't finished it?
I'm like maybe an hour in.
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I guess it didn't.
Only 50 more hours to go.
Yeah. You know, like Spider-Man kept me more engaged longer. And even now, it's like I don't really necessarily feel like going into it, which was another game that was announced, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Man release date.
We got a release date, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is October 20th.
October 20th.
Yep.
Yeah, that did take up a lot of stage time, like a little bit too long, maybe like a minute or two too long for just to announce that.
Yeah, it's odd. Why didn't they just do that at the PlayStation showcase?
They want that. What is that thing that Jim Ryan said? We want total. He said we want total like
Domination.
Mind space.
mind share. Yeah, that's how you do
Yeah.
it. You put Spider-Man.
So
in
that
all
was
your
that
shows.
was the only thing they had to show at the Summer Game Fest. So they waited to show it to release that. I got you.
Well,
Well, that does make sense.
Rebirth as well. That was basically a PlayStation thing too, right?
Well, I mean that's Square Enix, but
Yeah.
they did release the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse that Friday, so
Okay.
you know that kind of falls into it as well. Excellent movie, by the way.
Yeah, that movie did
okay.
good. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Let's see. Prince of Persia,
yeah,
The Lost Crown.
The Lost Crown. People
Interest
kind
in
of
this?
forget that Prince of Persia started as a 2D scroller.
Oh.
Yeah,
What
kinda
platform?
forgot, too.
What platform did it start on?
I want to say it was on PC and PlayStation 1, but
It
don't-
wasn't an Atari. It wasn't an Atari franchise. That's Pitfall, right?
I don't. Yeah, that was Pitfall.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
All right.
But this one's going to be a Metroidvania. This kind
Mm-hmm.
of reminds me of Metroid Dread, basically. Like it has the
Right.
same sort of production value to it.
Yeah,
than what
it looks
like.
good.
Kind of-
It looks really
Yeah.
good.
I think the
But-
trailer really did justice. So
Did you guys? Is that something you guys could see yourself playing?
No.
probably not, but I
no.
still like that it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, what else? What else, Nick?
Mortal Kombat 1.
Yep.
Oh, let's talk about this real quick. I do want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
They gave a montage of all of the what are they calling them?
Fatalities.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. The
yeah.
word was escaping me.
Am I crazy, or does this look just from a visual perspective? It looks better than Street Fighter 6. Is that, or is that just
Well,
personal opinion?
Tonally different.
Yeah.
I do actually think it's like higher looking.
Fidelity.
higher
It's
detail.
It's more
Yeah.
realistic. It's obviously going for a realistic tone as opposed to the slightly animated version of Street Fighter. So
Right.
Yeah.
But I think what I actually like what they did. I feel like they brightened the game up too a little bit. Like I feel like Mortal Kombat's like red and black and like you know.
I think you're on the right track with this one. I what I really like was the sound design. Like every hit, you could feel it through your headphones in a way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think the big innovation is like you can call in your co-op partner for a combo, and I'm like, wow, that's so interesting.
tag team,
yeah,
it's like-
we'll
like
see.
wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's a good year for fighters. You got Tekken
Oh,
8
man,
coming
yeah.
out later too.
yeah.
So,
That's true.
all right, next one. Fortnite reveals Transformers crossover.
Oh, come on. That's not a game. That's
You
just
guys
okay,
are talking
okay.
to you
that's
guys
just-
are talking to an
that's a
insider right now.
microtransaction.
Wasn't it a reveal of the new season?
Yeah, basically.
Season 3, Chapter 4, Season 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Just to let you guys know what they do with all these seasons, they strip away all the fun items and gadgets in the season, and then what they do is they'll dole them out as the season progresses. So it's super boring when a new season launches. It's like here's a new AR, here's a new shotgun, and then we'll change the map up a little bit, and they're supposed to. Yeah, but it's funny how many times they've done that. It's like they feel like that's the best way they can grab people, right?
Has it kept you playing? You haven't really talked about it recently.
I have since we've started this podcast. I really haven't played it that much. I have tried the new
We
season,
haven't
but
enlightened you.
no, you have not enlightened me. You've
Okay.
strayed. I've strayed from the core.
Strayed from the light.
It's Fortnite. That's right. Yeah. But like I said, it's just like there's like what I like about Fortnite is that interesting like they had a UFO vehicle that was just super OP. I like
Yeah.
the kind of crazy stuff, and they don't have that right now. so-
Lightsabers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That was fun, I have to admit.
Well,
Yeah.
do you think it was a good place to kind of show it off at the summer showcase?
Yeah, why
Well,
not?
I
Yeah.
guess so.
I guess that's true. It's big enough. We're not,
Yeah.
I'm not the audience, but I guess it's true. So.
Well, it's like, in another showcase, they showed off Elder Scrolls Online. They showed off Fallout 76. I'm like, well, they're doing
I
that.
wonder.
Yeah, and Fortnite is a lot bigger than both those games, right?
No, yeah,
Combined.
put together.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
right. But, all right. What else, Thick? You're doing
Okay,
a great job. You're doing a great job, by the way.
Okay, Sonic Superstars, reinvention or reimagining of 2D Sonic games. Nothing?
Nothing.
No.
Crickets.
Crickets.
Okay,
All right,
got it.
you guys know how I always say, if I was like a gaming czar, if everyone had to listen to
Mm-hmm.
me in the game industry, I would say you can only do one sequel to a game, and then you have to move on to a different like IP.
Yeah, do something new.
Like
I don't
having
think this is developed by the same
No,
team
no,
It
necessarily.
doesn't matter.
they're in the
It's the
gulag. They're
same
going straight to
game.
jail, straight to
Okay.
prison. Yeah.
I mean,
Man.
there are Sonic fans that will buy this and enjoy this, and
right.
not that it's just
We're not the target audience.
It's
They're not
not.
good people.
Yeah, those games are just not for me. The last time I bought a Sega a Sonic game was on the Sega
Game Gear.
portable Game Gear. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And that was it. So
I got a quick question for both of you. The year is 1993. You know, it was obviously Sonic versus Mario at the time. We were all much younger, obviously. Were you what team were you? I feel like
Ooh.
personally I was Team Sonic, but in the back of my head I knew Mario was better.
No, I was Mario.
You were Mario.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
trying to remember. Like, I wasn't really. I don't think platformers were really my. I think it was Aladdin or some sort
that
of
was good. That was good.
some sort of Game Boy, like OG Game Boy game. I was
Okay.
playing. It might have been DuckTales.
All right.
like,
So
as
even
in
back
terms of
then, Thick avoided conflict.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like I'm
In
just
a
gonna
way,
I'm just gonna go back this way, away from this entire thing.
Yeah.
I did remember I took my friend's Game Gear, like at the playground, and I just like played it for 2 hours until the battery died. And like he probably
That's
wanted
about
back
it.
anyways.
You get about
yeah.
2 hours out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Next game.
Yeah.
Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
All right. Is this the most hyped game in the Summerfest or whatever?
This gameplay looked good.
Yeah.
It looked creepy. It didn't look at all like the first game where you walk around with a flashlight and
Well, that's
have
good,
to
though.
fry them. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you do have a flashlight, but it looked that thing that jumps out is just terrifying looking. I mean, it has deer horns and a coat. What? Anyway, I enjoyed that. That made me excited for this game. So
yeah.
job,
it gave
job
me
done.
Control vibes in terms of just like kind of the Sin Mac vibe to it.
Well, it's supposed to be in the same universe, so anything can happen.
I know whenever there's a kind of a horror game shown at any of these conferences, I always go to the bathroom. Like
Yeah.
I take my break because
You
these
turn
are
on
not
the
my
lights.
games. Yeah, I turn on no. Well, yeah, okay. All
Turn
right.
on every light in the house. I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah, and of course this is the game that's going to be digital only, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. $50, $60.
$60. Yeah.
Because
$60.
they said because it's cheaper to make.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
Yeah.
Who's the
Make it
publisher,
cheaper.
by the way? Because I remember 505 was the publisher for Control, and there was a lot of issues with it.
I think it might be. What do you think, Scott?
Are they publishing this in their self? I think this is their self, right?
I
This
don't
is
know.
their
I
new
don't know.
We'll
publishing.
find out eventually.
Yeah. I bet they publish it themselves, especially since it's digital. Because I remember reading something about them becoming a publisher, which usually means they're just going to publish their own games. So I don't
Okay,
know. I
got
may
it.
have dreamed that. But go on.
All right. Next game is Like a Dragon Gaiden. I think. What is it called? Oh, you not a fan?
Is that the one where he was on the beach?
Yakuza.
Is that the
No,
one where he's
the-
on the beach?
No, this
That's
is
a
the man
different
who
one.
erased his name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
It's
That's very
more,
cool.
I think, in line with what other Yakuza games are, which is
Well,
what they
yeah.
actually are doing. They're renaming it basically, right? It's not Yakuza anymore. It's Like a Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thick, have I ever told you that if I ever become a gaming czar, I'm gonna put everyone who makes a sequel into the gulag? You know, so I feel like we've had 20 these Yakuza games. I'm kind of over it. But
Yeah,
you know,
it's fine.
Scott's about to say, you know, a lot of people like these, so you have to let them like them.
No.
Well,
that was
this-
my line.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
your line.
that is his line. This is a spin-off of the Yakuza series. But it does say, according to this, it says, and I'm not going to say who it is because I'm not going to give him credit, but the game is a spin-off in a long-running Like a Dragon, formerly Yakuza series. So, yeah, that's probably better marketing. Like a Dragon sounds way better than Yakuza. Especially if it's going to be something a little bit different. But yeah, I can see the appeal to those games. It's just not something for me.
They take too long. That's all I will say.
Yeah.
They're fine, but they take a long time. I
A lot
haven't
of
even finished
dialogue.
Zero.
A lot
Yeah.
of dialogue. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you're
Star Trek.
yeah,
Infinite.
Nate,
Is that
Is
that?
this-
This is like first of all, the Borg is a boring. It's a boring adversary, and the Borg is the main adversary in this one.
it looks like it. Yeah,
Right.
That's the halfway robotic cyborgs. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
so-
it'd be Borg.
Yeah,
cyborgs.
this wasn't of interest to me, so I don't have much to say.
They didn't
Can
really
I
show
tell you
much.
guys-
It wasn't really a big trailer,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah.
I feel like the ideal Star Trek is like you land on a new planet and you get to understand the new planet, the new people, the new issue. Like going back to the Borg all the time, I'm over it.
You should
Yeah.
play Starfield.
Oh, we're gonna talk about.
Yeah,
Starfield.
well, yeah, right.
Okay, yeah. But, next game.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. You were
Yeah.
ready for this one.
Oh, I didn't know this existed till I saw this trailer. But yeah, as soon as I saw his name. Now, John Carpenter, if you don't know, is a director. He made the first Halloween, Halloween 2, The Thing, The Fog, They Live. You've seen a John Carpenter movie, whether you knew it or not. Escape from New York. I mean, this guy is just amazing. Married Adrienne Barbeau, which goes along with his credits. But he's also a huge gamer. He loves Halo. He loves Gears of War. He wants to make a video game. He's said that many times, and he's actually said, "I will make a Gears of War movie if you want me to. I will make a Halo
Really?
movie." Yeah, he's nobody's taking him up on that, obviously.
How
But-
old is he?
Huh?
How old is he?
He's got to be in his 70s.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Wow.
mean, he's an up there. So I don't know how much he's worked on this, or it might have been
has
just
his
something.
name, so
it
that's-
has his
that's the
name
thing.
on it, so it's. But you never know. It could be something that's like, I want you to make a game like this, but add this, and then and then put my name on it, and that's pretty much it. But this looks very much like him. This is a vehicle combat zombie horde game with 80s action movie comedy, apparently. So
Yeah.
it just looks like a goofy, fun, shoot 'em up game. So I'm in.
It looks like a spiritual successor to World War Z. Like, I think it's the same.
With probably a
Developer?
lot of cuss words and
Yeah.
probably nudity. Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
if it's John Carpenter. So
Yeah, Saber Interactive was the developer for World War Z. So yeah, it looks.
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna borrow a lot from that,
could.
which is a good thing. I like that.
It good, yeah. That is a good game, and it's fun. And if they just apply that kind of same formula to something with a little tongue in cheek, and yeah, it could be a hit.
So that's coming out next year. So we'll look forward to it.
Yep.
Next game, Sandland.
Yes.
Yes.
I have a question. So,
Yes.
is this a Dragon Ball Z game?
It's the same.
I mean, is it like in
Akira
that universe,
Toriyama?
or is it just something
It's
completely
the same
new?
artist. It's the same artist. It's basically the artist does Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Quest, and now
Okay,
it's
but this
Sandland.
is like its own thing.
As far as I know, it's supposed to be. It's okay.
Because I really dig the art style. I mean, it's like almost it's cell shaded, but it looks like an upgraded cell shading. It looks really cool. I'm not sure if it's something I would play, but the art style I'm really liking.
was it? I think it's based on another sort of like manga instead of Dragon Ball Z. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Next game, Pal World. The trailer is kind of like ridiculous, but I mean, it's kind of what it is, right? Pokemon with guns. That's what they're
Pokemon
kinda-
with guns, yeah, pretty
Well, yeah.
much. Yeah.
Isn't
Had to
it
happen
like a
sooner or later. What's
Isn't
that?
it a survival game? Isn't it survival-ish?
I don't know.
I don't.
I don't know.
I'm not
I
seeing-
feel like the core of it is you're collecting, which is kind of the trademark of Pokemon games.
Yeah.
Right. I would actually check. This is a game I would check out.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it because
It
of the
looks
guns?
cool. I mean, it's got a very interesting art style. It's almost like half Pokemon, half realistic. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
strange looking.
Put it on your wish list. Okay.
There you go.
All right. The Lord of the Rings: Return to Moria.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
This looks like
s-
Deep Rock Deep Rock. I always forget the name of that.
Yeah, Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
a lot of people are saying that. Yeah.
yeah, which is a good thing. I like that game.
Who is the developer for this one? I did not check. Let me see.
I'm not seeing it here.
It's not the team that did Golem, is it?
Oh no.
No, they were too busy with Golem.
Anyway, yeah, this looks pretty interesting. They didn't really give like we've not seen any gameplay, but we're just kind of assuming that it's like Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, we might be setting ourselves for.
Yeah, it might be a strategy game more, but that would be pretty cool. I mean, I'm up for that. Having like a sim like, create your own, dwarf utopia under the ground. Yeah, I'm in for that.
Yeah. Never trust an elf. Never trust an elf.
That's right.
Yeah.
He'll throw you.
I'm gonna say a couple names, and you just say nope or yes. Okay.
Okay.
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Banisher's Ghost of New Eden.
No for
I
me.
actually don't remember this one.
Yeah, this is the one where the guy has a ghost with him, and he uses the ghost to do other things. Yeah, it's I don't know. It looks like I've seen this game like 50 times already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right.
I feel like that's like suffering from the cotton candy fatigue that we have. It's just like, is this game everywhere, or is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I know I've seen this trailer before or this game before, but then again, it looks a lot like the game that I just saw at the other expo, and then the other So I don't know. They're all starting to kind of look the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not too much interest in this one.
Yeah.
So there's the Baldur's Gate. Just slight news is just Jason Isaacs, a major villain.
Yeah, he's gonna be playing the major villain.
Okay.
Jason Isaacs said one of the most iconic lines for a villain in a movie, which is right before he shoots Mel Gibson's son in The Patriot. He says, "Stupid boy," and then he shoots him. I thought that was really
was
great.
Heath Ledger, wasn't it? Didn't he shoot?
No, it was the younger son. It was the younger son.
Oh, that's
he shot.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't actually know who Jason Isaacs is, but maybe I've seen him.
You've seen Harry Potter, right?
Not really.
Really?
I don't really.
You
I haven't watched. Oh, is this the original Harry Potter, or was it the later ones?
What do you mean the original? There's another
like
one?
the first movie. The first movie. That's what I mean. Not
no,
the
I
sequels.
don't believe he was in the first one. To be honest, I think he was in the third one. He was Malfoy's dad.
Okay.
Don't ask me what his name was. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't know. You've seen him in something. He's been in a lot of movies, but he's always good, and he's always a good villain.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link to The Patriot where he shoots the kid.
Okay.
It's a great scene. It's
We'll
awesome.
make it into a GIF or GIF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Twisted Metal. You saw the really short trailer?
Yeah,
right?
not a game.
Will Arnett. Yeah, not a game.
Yeah.
No interest, right?
No, it's not a game.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat interested in seeing the game, not the TV show though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Path of Exile 2.
Yes.
That looked good. I thought that looked good.
Yes, that looks really good. I saw there's another trailer they just released. They're just showing like 2 or 3 seconds of this thing. There's another one that looks even better than that one. And
I think I have it on my watch later playlist.
Yeah.
I'll watch it a little bit later. But more ARPG year. This is a year for them.
It is. Is this coming out this year? Let's see. This says find out more on
July.
That we'll find out more on July 28th.
Yeah.
So I guess we get a trailer of the trailer on the 28th. Okay. Well, it looks good so far, and I'm excited about it.
Okay. There's some small bits of news, but probably not too important. Did you guys play the Lies of P demo or download it?
I did.
Did you played it?
Yeah.
Okay. Opinion?
It's interesting visually. It's boring. It's the same if you've played Dark Souls, you've played this game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But it looks pretty polished and high production value.
It's very French looking.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. I like the French.
It's
French
like
are alright.
like French robots and stuff. I mean, it's cool looking.
Yeah.
Graphically, it's interesting. But
The only people I don't like are the Dutch.
so if
You
there's
heard
a
it here
game with
first.
Dutch, if based,
Okay.
yeah, okay, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neither of you
well,
are Dutch, are you?
My grandmother was Dutch.
Not as far as I know.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage in Dead by Daylight. That was
Oh
kinda,
my god, he's so weird, man. It's just so
Yeah.
weird. Anyway, okay.
Not sure if he aged well, but I mean,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
sure
think
he's
he
fine.
even really knew what he had like done.
Signed up for.
Right. He's like, I showed up, I did some lines, I moved around. Yeah, I'm out of here.
Can I defend him for a quick second?
No, I like him. You
Oh
can
yeah, I do
defend him.
too.
Yeah.
I feel like when he was out on stage, he had energy to him. He wasn't like a Joel McHale, too cool to be here, you know?
Oh yeah, he played the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew exactly what to do.
Right. Which
But,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a showman. I'm just thinking that he's probably like, I don't know what I did. It's gonna be great. It's like enjoy it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of games that's kind of shown in a lot of showcases, Immortals of Avium.
Yeah.
They've been really blasting that in a lot of showcases.
It still does not look like anything I want to play. It just looks like
describe this
visually noise. Huh?
It's
Describe
the
this game for me.
magic. I would say magic.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
it's
calling
Halo.
it Call of Duty with magic is what they're calling
Okay.
it. And
It looks more like Doom to me. So
yeah,
that's
it
the way
just
I'm going to.
doesn't. I don't know. I mean, it's just an arm gun. All right, we got to pick up
Yeah.
the pace because we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. We can pass by everything else. Honkai Star Rail gets a PS5 update. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think there's really anything else. Okay, let's rate the summer showcase real quick.
Ooh,
C?
yeah, I think C minus.
Mm-hmm.
It just
that sounds
didn't
about
have
right.
anything that.
Got you excited.
Yeah, it didn't really
Yeah.
have anything that I'm like I cannot wait to play that. And
Right.
that I don't know. It's not just me, right? I mean, it just seems to be. Every indie title looks like it's either trying to be an older Nintendo game or Fortnite. Like the visual style
Watch
of
it, Scott. Watch it.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that Fortnite
Not-
is popular and it seems like everybody seems to be emulating that art style.
Right.
So other than Alan Wake, seeing more of that, and I guess that's about it. Yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah.
You know, it was the Path of Exile too. That was the best
Yeah, but I mean, they only showed
minute
like
of my life.
right? Like what? Maybe 15 seconds actual gameplay.
Yeah.
Enough to get interested, but yeah, I definitely want to see more of that.
Let me ask you guys a question. Are these Summer Game Fest always this kind of bad?
Well, these are
Thank you.
kind of I don't know. This is what we're getting in lieu of E3, and
Yeah.
Right.
it's fairly new. This kind of this started with COVID, and I don't know if Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo seem to be, they're doing their own thing and they seem to be doing fine with it. It's the other kind of shows that. Now everybody has a show. It used to just be E3. Everybody went to E3. We got coverage for E3. It was over a couple of days, and then bam, we had everything. This is just getting a little like everybody's trying to scrape up this stuff to make a summer show at the same time. And I think that a lot of it gets kind of lost in the shuffle. And it's a lot. It's a lot to take. If this was over like 2 months, I think it would be better. But it just seems to be a little clustered.
I do feel like we'll get some consolidation after a while. 'Cause, like,
Eventually, but the games that I'm interested in, it's like, oh, that's really interesting. I'll be searching. I'll be using Bing to try to figure out what game that was because I don't remember what it was called.
yeah.
So I'm having to like actually make a list of this stuff because I'll forget it. Because there was a game they showed last year called I don't even remember, and it was a horror game called Return or Rewind or something with an R. I don't know. See, I don't even remember. And it's we're not seeing it again. So it's hard to consume all of this and, all at one time. So
yeah. And my feed was going off on YouTube like constantly.
Yeah.
New trailers like
like
throughout
trailer.
the day.
Yeah. And I know there's some stuff that I missed and I have to go back and do it. But if you want, we can go ahead and get into the Xbox show.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
It was these guys started with Fable. What did we say last week? We were trying to figure out if this was going to be Fable or not, and we've got our questions. I know, Nate, that you've got the answers, right?
You know where I hid it, don't you? I hid it in my secret spot.
Okay. I'm ready.
Wait, so we're going through the questions? We're going through the questions?
You gotta go.
Let's do that first, and then we'll talk about all of this and
it's
see
housekeeping.
how we did. Yeah.
All right. Halo Infinite, at the show, me and Thick said no. Scott, you said yes.
Did I say yes?
No, Thick said yes. Me and you said no.
Okay.
Okay. Because I did feel like I did say yes.
Yeah.
So
There was no
I'll take that
Master
out.
Chief to be seen.
Yeah.
So
Very interesting. Very interesting how Thick was quiet there. He was quiet.
He was like,
he wanted the
I was
point.
processing whether I said what, because I honestly don't remember. But yeah.
Number 2,
Yep.
tease for the next Xbox upgrade. We all said no. That's true, right? We're not counting the Series S.
I think I actually said yes, but
Oh my gosh, you did say yes.
I did say yeah.
My Y's look like no's.
Yeah, and Phil Spencer's now saying we're not doing that right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
thanks a
I
lot.
saw that.
Thanks a lot, Phil Spencer. They did, of course, show the new black Series S that is 1 terabyte for $349. So
That's right.
But I'm not gonna call that as an upgrade.
Let's get a white Series X with 2 terabyte.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3, there will be a celebrity at the show. Thick and Scott said no. I have a yes written down, but I'm pretty sure I meant no.
But there was.
Yeah, there. Well, who was it? Who was
Keanu
it?
Reeves.
Take the L, Nate. Oh wait.
He's gonna take.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Keanu.
We'll give you
I
that
forget.
one.
Yeah.
I was thinking in my head, I'm like, can I push Sarah Bond as a celebrity? But no, Keanu Reeves is a celebrity. You're right. Number 4, Avowed, Fable, and Indiana Jones will show up. We all said yes on this one.
Yeah. So we got 2 of the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got 2 or 3. Yeah.
So
All right.
give us 0.6 points.
Yeah.
Points. Okay.
Yeah.
6.66 points. Okay.
Yes.
Now this one says performance mode. I think performance mode is somehow linked to Starfield. Right?
Yeah.
So you Thick and Scott said yes. I said no.
So yeah, there was no mention of frame rate in anything.
Nothing. No.
Like no game.
I thought they would
at
announce it
all.
for Forza. Like
I would too.
like-
I was thinking they were going to do like here's a 60. There's a 60 mode and there's a 120 mode, and yeah, they didn't talk about any of that. I hope this
they
game,
kept it really light for Forza. I felt like in terms of info.
Yeah, it
it
was
is
pretty quick.
60, right? It's not 30.
I'm positive it's
Okay.
60.
Jeez. Okay. Anyway.
Do we want to go for our bonus questions, or do you want to just?
Yeah, let's
You
do
can go
it.
for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
The bonus questions were there will be a special edition controller, but we all said yes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously there's
Easy.
Starfield controller, right? And
Yeah.
then the other bonus question was, I have hair colored.
Has Todd Howard stopped coloring his hair? And I said no. I don't know what you guys said, but I was right. He's still coloring his hair.
No, that's natural.
Yeah.
That is not natural. You cannot be the head of a studio like that and still
Scott,
retain
calm
like
down.
a
Calm down,
just
Scott.
Let it go, Todd. Man, just mature respectfully. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Anyway,
All right. So as we know, we agreed that the winner of the of this, the winner can stay high on his chair. The 2 losers have to put their chair down a couple inches. We agreed to this.
Who
right?
won?
I won. I crushed you guys.
Oh man, I don't think my
Okay.
chair can go.
Yeah,
my
I don't-
chair's
I
as
don't
low
think
as
so
it can
either.
go.
Yeah, I keep it pretty low, so
Okay, just can you guys slouch
I
a little
I
bit?
could. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you win.
that better?
Okay. Wow. Okay, so you win
this kinda hurts,
the
but yeah.
you win the special edition controller, which you have to purchase yourself. So
That's right.
congratulations.
No, you win a needler.
No, Thick. You got to send me all your swag you got at the Xbox show.
Okay.
I want that jacket. All right.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I was trying to get more codes for that, but yeah.
Yeah. I need
right,
2 more. Yeah.
Let's get into the showcase, but I have a question for you guys. Can we grade the showcase?
Yeah.
Right now.
You want to do it now?
I want to grade it now, but
Let's do it.
Do you think it could be better after? Let's do it now.
We could think about it afterwards too. We could come back and see how we feel.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go first. Straight C.
Yeah.
Straight C.
Wow.
Straight C.
Really?
I think it's on the same level of the PlayStation Showcase. I guess I wouldn't care if you're like, oh, it's a little bit better. I'm like, okay, there was more games there. Yeah, but I was so disappointed in the showcase.
Okay.
Also.
Well, no.
all right.
Just give a grade. You got
Okay.
You got C.
Okay, fine.
I'm gonna say B plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thick.
I think I agree with Scott. B plus. I was teetering on an A minus, but there were some things that once the honeymoon phase passed, I kind of
you kind of have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, one big thing that they started off with, none under I don't know how to say this guy's name, to be honest. Richard
Adoye.
Adoye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from IT Crowd. This was.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, he plays a giant in the game, or at least in the trailer. The trailer was fantastic. It showed the art style, what they're retaining from the previous games, and of course the humor. The humor is there, and the trailer was just. I thought it was fun. It was fantastic. It's showing the mood, the tone, the art style, and they did
The fidelity kind of.
the
I thought it
fidelity
looked
of
really
it.
good.
Yeah. This was all in engine on a Xbox Series X, and they did kick a chicken. So check. Yeah, I was hoping that they would show something from Fable. Still no release date, but we're getting a little bit closer. What did you guys think of this trailer?
I liked it.
Oh, go ahead, Thick.
That's it. I'm just gonna say I liked it.
Okay.
Like Scott mentioned most of what I liked already.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So everyone knows CGI trailers are like useless because you can't glean anything from them, right?
Right.
Now, I've never played Fable, but I've been interested in the franchise. Like I remember back when it was the 1 and 2 were releasing, I was like, oh, I'm gonna, I was interested in those games. I still don't know what this game is. Like it was just that trailer was like 90% story cutscene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like in engine, blah blah blah. Yeah.
I think I counted on YouTube. It's like 2.74 seconds of gameplay, right? And then
I think I counted 3 seconds, but
no.
Go on.
Okay. And then the other thing, I think I saw like a set piece where like she's like doing these things that I'm like, oh, this feels like you remember like Spider-Man kicking the jets with the jet ski where you have to like watch this stupid 3-second animation.
yeah.
I felt like the game was like saying, oh, you're going to be doing that Spider-Man thing.
I think so.
Yeah, but
To an extent.
in the original Fable, you had a lot of you did have quite a bit of emotes, and the emotes that you would do, you would get a response from the people around you. Like if you walked into a pub and you're like, you didn't really say anything, and people would be like, yay, or you could go in and fart. Or you could go in and, like talk rudely to, and people would, kind of shun you. The whole idea of Fable is like the interaction with your character. If you did bad things, you started to look evil, started to grow horns. And,
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If you ate too many pies, you got fat,
That's cool.
So it's that RPG world that they built, around this kind of just generic kind of story, English, Fable story.
Yeah.
But and that looks like that's what they're retaining. That's what they're taking from the original game and hopefully making a lot more with it. And as playing the original games, I was happy to see that. So I enjoyed the trailer.
So yeah, one thing like I think maybe Nate has the same idea. Is like they didn't show that whole like RPG element in the
right. They didn't show like actual like somebody the camera behind the character actually doing stuff in the game. I agree with that.
Yeah, but and one thing tomorrow there will be another extended showcase, so hopefully maybe we'll get more information on it.
Maybe,
hopefully.
but I kind of doubt it. I think this is all
Yeah,
we're going to get
probably.
for probably another year.
That's
Year
most likely.
we'll get gameplay next year and possibly a year, ish.
A delay.
Well, just a year-ish, release date.
Yeah.
They can't delay it now. It doesn't have a release date. So,
Yeah.
so the next thing would be Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. It got a trailer, which looked really good. And then, of course, Keanu Reeves came out and, talked about it. And then immediately, looked to his left and
bounced.
jutted off like a cartoon character.
Yeah,
he's so weird, man. You got to love him. But they're making drastic changes to the game itself that do not require you to buy the expansion, which is really cool. So all the changes that you're making in the story expansion are going to be for the entire game, not just for the expansion. But the expansion looks really good. They say it's more in line with what they wanted to do originally. So this may be one step closer to the 2077 game that we were supposed to get in 2019.
Did you beat the story, Scott?
I did.
Okay.
I played it on Xbox Series X. I got a really good ending. And so I don't really... If you have to play through the story again to play the expansion, I will not be playing the expansion. If you can get the expansion and just go right into it, I will consider it. I will be looking at some reviews for that. So, are you guys getting this? Are you interested? And
I'm interested in hearing the reception first.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine. I think it looks more next gen, right? Doesn't it?
It looks like it's getting an upgrade. It looks like a lot of things they are fixing. And they did talk about in the trailer AI. AI is a big thing that seemed to be completely void in the original release. So maybe that's something that they're going to fix. Vehicle combat, those kind of things. But yeah. So maybe so it's good to see a game that needs some extra attention getting it. But I don't think that this is going to be the RPG style that the original game was. I think it's going to be more action and story.
Okay.
So this one happened probably midway through the direct,
yeah, I
right?
think so. Yeah. So you might have to be at a certain point in the game. I don't know. I'm hoping not. I hope you can just go right into it. But whatever.
Quick question for you guys: do you guys like seeing celebrities in video games?
No,
it does nothing
not really.
for me for the most part. Yeah.
So you're flat on it. You it's not like you don't dislike it, right? Yeah.
Well,
I feel like I dislike it.
Yeah,
it pulls me out.
It yeah, that's good. The other thing too is I'll use Callisto Protocol as an example. What's the guy's name? I can never remember the guy's name. Fergie's husband.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
we know.
Josh Duhamel.
Thank you.
There you go.
He didn't add anything to that game. I think that there is a handful of game/voice actors that could have done a much better job with that character. So the next one is Avowed, and I personally loved this trailer. One thing that I did not like about it, but I'll talk about what I did like about it. For one thing, if looking at the world, they said that this is not as big as Skyrim, which is a good thing. It's more like Outer Worlds, which is a good thing. You can have a companion, I think up to 2 companions with you at all times.
It's 2, yeah.
Just like in Pillars of Eternity. And the combat looked very fluid, and the magic in it looked really cool. Not overdone, and the enemies looked really good. The only
I
thing,
like the bear, right?
The bear was
pretty cool.
pretty vicious looking. And then the character talking, the Snake Man, I don't know what's Lizard Man or whatever. That looked really good too. The game itself looks really good. I saw on Twitter a lot of people were talking about this was a visual downgrade. I'm like, a visual downgrade from what? We haven't seen any. They had a CGI trailer like 3 years ago.
Tonal change, right?
From what though? I mean,
the original trailer was more dark, and that's what people were going off of.
The visual, the 30-second trailer we got 3 years ago. Give me a break.
Yeah.
This looks great. I think it looks fantastic. What they're not showing though is this to me looks more like an action game and not an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really see any elements of an RPG.
Yeah.
I didn't see the interface. I didn't see character creation. I didn't see how you're going to be upgrading your character, how you're going to be leveling up. So hopefully they will show that a little bit later. But it does say 2024. Mm-hmm. So, and that's something that I'll repeatedly bring up here in just a little bit. What did you guys think?
Quick thing about it, I did like it. Like when I saw it live on the stage, I was like, "Ooh, finally!" I was hoping for it, right? Because Obsidian, I consider them like their AA tier developer because they've released a lot of good stuff. Like
they do, and they're really their DNA is RPGs. They know how to make a good RPG.
Yeah, which they didn't show off, and what they did show off though was pretty good looking combat, which is something I don't feel they've ever been super strong at. So hopefully this is added on top of the already good RPG elements. Right. So if that's the case, this will be pretty enjoyable.
You just have to have interesting characters, a good story, good combat, and actually role playing characters where you create your own character and your own past and all that stuff. And that's the recipe for a good RPG. So let's hope it's all there. Nate, what'd you think? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, one more thing. I'm not sure I like the tone, at least from the trailer. Like just because it seems more like Outer Worlds, and like Outer Worlds is kind of like I don't know, like kind of like satire, jokey, and I got a little bit too lighthearted. And like the Pillars of Eternity games, they're pretty dark. It's the same world. Yeah, they're dark. And that's what would be my only kind of like complaint about it. But I'm still interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Scott must have read my comments because my comments were online. I was like, well, what happened to the graphics? For some reason I was like, this was supposed to be like a borderline AAA game, right? And to me, in my opinion, it looked very AA.
Mm-hmm.
And the only other thing that really stood out to me is every time they're showing combat in the game, the AI NPC who's trying to do damage to you is 20 feet in front of the character. So the character's like I'm going to do a root spell. The AI's right in front of me. I'm going to shoot him with lightning right 20 feet in front of me. Mm-hmm. That bugs the heck out of me. Like I like a wide variety of I like worlds that feel big. This felt like everything is like so right there.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It doesn't look like you're out in an open world. It looks like the combat was.
Yeah.
And that may just be the purpose of the trailer, but again, it's our first trailer. Hopefully they'll reveal stuff later. But
and even though I was kind of disappointed in the trailer, I'm like ultimately it's like I think the writing could make or break the game, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot. Just because the trailer disappointed doesn't mean that the game's gonna be bad. To me, I could see myself enjoying this game. I know. Last week I said to Sky, I'm like, I want to see games that don't have like great graphics, and this to me epitomized that. I'm like, that's like kind of what I want. I want those kind of like. It's funny. I'm like talking out of both sides of my mouth. Like I want the bad graphics, and yet it had bad, But
you think it was bad graphics? I mean, do you think that looks bad? I don't think I didn't see anything I thought looked bad.
One thing was when I first saw it open, it looked like I was looking at Assassin's Creed. Briefly,
I think that's what a lot of people thought because he's on a pier, he's got boots, he's got a hood, and that's what I was talking about. It shows just that one character. It doesn't really show. It didn't show anything in a variation of character. So I'm hoping that you don't play a preset character like The Witcher or an Assassin's Creed character. That's what I'm very apprehensive about is seeing that one character through the entire game. So
you know what game I thought of when that trailer was playing? I forgot. It was The Forgotten City. You remember that game came out a couple years ago?
Yeah.
It was like a $19 critically acclaimed game that was,
It was all dialogue.
It was all dialogue, right? But it felt a little like maybe a team of 200 isn't making it,
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, maybe maybe it'll be a little bit bigger than you think, or maybe it'll be a little bit smaller than I think. So we'll see. Let's see. The next one is going to be Compulsion Games, South of Midnight.
Yeah.
This looked really interesting. I'm a huge blues fan, so to see this kind of rooted in this looks like it may be rooted in some kind of blues mythology. So for me, that's very interesting. But the game itself just didn't really look that great. It looked very 30 frames per second, I guess. Like
I feel like that's probably what they're going for, kind of like that
motion.
clay motion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think it looks a little bit more.
I would like to see actual
theatrical.
gameplay. Right.
Yeah, I would
right
too.
now, this is just in-game
Yeah.
cinematic.
Yeah.
My problem with this is like, during the PlayStation conference, you had a bunch of CGI trailers that everyone is like, well, we don't know what the game is. Like, why are you showing us this? It doesn't help. And I'm like, well, this is the same thing, only it's in engine.
Yeah, that's
Like,
remember their tweet saying, "Oh, everything will be that our first party will be in engine," or what was the other one? Like, there's no CGI cinematic, right?
Right.
Yeah, but okay, if I get more from this trailer than the other one that was a spaceship with a cheeseburger in it.
True. That is true.
I mean, it shows the tone, it shows the main character, it shows where you're going to be, it shows a 9-foot tall old blues man. So it's obviously in the bayou or Mississippi or something like that. So, but yeah, I mean, I do. I'm again, like Nate, talking both sides of my mouth. At the same time, though, yeah, we still don't really know what you're going to be doing in this game or what it is exactly about. Great presentation, in-game footage.
That's all we have right now.
But
and also Compulsion Games pedigree, which hasn't been like 100% necessarily.
Yeah.
What was their last game?
We Happy
Few. Yeah.
It had a lot of development issues from what I saw.
Apparently,
can't say I really got too far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so the next one is they showed the trailer for Star Wars Outlaws. And this trailer
we can talk about this more next week, right? Because they show
talk
more
about it right now.
All right.
Now I did see, of course, Ubisoft did release the gameplay trailer today, and we can talk about that later. But this trailer looks fine. This is not really the game I thought they were making. This is from Massive, which is the guys that made the Division 2.
Yeah.
When they said they were making an open world Star Wars game, I think everybody considered it being kind of like, oh, you create your character, you go out into the open world Star Wars and, do all these Star Wars things. This is very
Far Cry-esque.
Yeah. You have one character, you obviously have one ship, you have two other characters with you, one which is a droid that wears a trench coat. I'm just going to let that sink in for a second. Yeah. Okay, moving on. And one thing I did notice, and this is something that is a pet peeve of mine, when you make a Star Wars game, John Williams made some of the best movie music in the war in history. Use it. Use the music that we expect to hear when you see a spaceship and stormtroopers. And I don't know. I'm going to have to see more of this, but right now, this is really disappointing to me. I don't know. What did you guys think?
Indifferent, to be honest.
Yeah. Indifferent. I was a little surprised. We saw that Avatar Frontiers of Pandora.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. That's at the Ubisoft as well.
I was real disappointed in that because that looked like, oh, that's Far Cry.
Yeah, it just looks like, you're a tall Smurf doing Far Cry stuff.
This game feels like, oh, this is actually a higher quality than that. Like, this felt like hopefully they're doing something different.
Is this where all the budget is? I don't know.
It felt like that to me, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. I mean, I have to say, it doesn't look like, that regular kind of Ubisoft, I don't know, 15-year-old engine. I mean, it looks like a next-gen game.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, as a Star Wars fan, I'm probably being a little overcritical, but I know what this game is. I mean, it's a semi-open world game where you play a character and you go through this story and stuff. But it's just, when are we going to get our open world go do whatever you want. Be a mercenary. Be a smuggler. Be a Jedi. Be a I know there's an MMO that you can do that, but not everybody wants to play an MMO. You just want to go kind of do your own thing.
So you're saying too handholdy.
Yeah, I mean it's just it's a game for the masses, and I get it. It's Star Wars, but
that's why they're massive.
All right, let's get it.
Okay,
you got it.
I think lower your chair. Lower your chair.
You got to be quicker than that. Okay, so the next game is Forza Motorsport. It's coming in October 10th. We got a release date. They showed a bunch of cars moving very fastly across the screen, and we can probably move on to the next one. In Exile's Clockwork Revolution. Now, In Exile is, again, these are some guys that are made up of some very prominent RPG developers that came together to make In Exile. Their last game that they released was Wasteland 3, which is an excellent turn-based game. If you like turn-based games, it's a must-play. This looked really interesting. I really liked the steampunk style of this game. What did you guys think of this?
Visually looks fine. I guess I'm a little fatigued from BioShock-esque style visuals.
Yeah, it had a very Infinite, like BioShock 3. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
With the town and everything, but I do see that, but this one looks, I don't know, just something about it that I really like. Magic, guns.
Yeah.
The guy walking, he had two robots, one in the front, one in the back, on a red carpet conveyor belt as he walked on it, and it moved down the street. So he was perpetually walking on a red carpet. I thought was just hilarious. So this I'm very interested. I want to see gameplay of this. Hopefully this is something they'll show later. But I don't think I don't think they showed a release date for this, or did it say 2024?
Coming in due time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. Why I do appreciate that In Exile is trying something different.
Yes.
Like this is way different than what they've done.
Yep.
What was their
bigger
last
budget?
Game?
It was
Wasteland 3. Wasteland 3.
Yeah.
Okay, and that
it's isometric, top down, right?
Yeah, turn-based, top-down RPG. It's it's a AA studio. This is some Microsoft money here. Obviously, I mean, you look at their last game, you look at this game. They got some budget for this, so hopefully it'll pay off for them. Let's see. The next game was.
Metaphor.
Yeah,
right?
Metaphor. This was really weird.
It's
Metaphor
by the Persona team, so.
Fantaseo. Yeah. It's very Japanese. If you guys want to talk about it, we can. I skipped it.
I want to get fixed. I want to get fixed opinion of it. I feel like the Persona games are pretty high quality.
They are very well revered, so I think this will be another one that.
This is their new one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So they had Shin Megami Tensei before, but that wasn't really as popular as Persona. So this could be like the Elden Ring to, FromSoft.
Oh wow.
Because this could have been Persona 6, but this is not Persona 6.
It's not
it's a whole new thing.
Yeah.
And it's coming out 2024.
We'll see how it goes.
When did Persona 5 come out?
Years ago at this point.
18?
No, 2016. 2016.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, wow.
So this one's been in the oven for a bit.
Quite so. I'm not a huge Persona fan, but yeah, it's definitely got a huge following, so one to look out for. It's good that it's revealed at an Xbox conference,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they've got to deal with Atlas to bring, those games to Xbox here in the States. I don't know how well they're doing that in Japan, but
can't deal with Sony, I guess. No, sorry, Square.
Square.
Yeah. And the next game is where is the name of this? 33 Immortals.
Yes.
This looked like a
I was surprised.
This looked terrible.
Yeah. For this one, I was surprised because Spiritfarer. Do you kind of remember that game? It was on Game Pass for a little bit.
Yeah.
I was not too interested in it. It wasn't for me. But this is different, and the fact that they did Spiritfarer and now they're trying something a little different, I'm interested to see how it goes. It's a Game Pass game. So.
It is. It's just it's a top-down action game. You know,
Yeah.
Another one. But it's like got the same hand-drawn look of Spiritfarer, and it just when everything's going on the screen and the action, and there's 33 players, it just looks. I mean, it just looks like a mess. I mean,
Scott, you were just praising Starship Troopers a couple weeks ago.
Well, that's different. That's first person.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and you're shooting. Your viewpoint is a bunch of bugs.
Yeah.
You know, when you're trying to find your character amongst 33 and 100 enemies, and everybody's flipping magic and stuff around.
I know with this trailer, the first 20 seconds, once I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a 33 player co-op game. That's interesting. Like I was like, it perked my attention. And then the last 40 seconds of the trailer, I'm like, why aren't they showing us anything cool?
Yeah, it was just like everybody's running, and then now everybody's attacking, and now everybody's running again. I mean, it just doesn't look like there's much to it. Maybe it's just a crappy trailer. I mean, sometimes we get trailers that just don't convey what the game is, but it did not interest me at all.
Game Pass. I'll try it. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Game Pass fodder, as they call it. Okay, the next one is Payday 3, which is the third in the Payday series. Nothing here really looked very new. Maybe a car chase, I think, is new. I don't know. I played Payday 1 briefly and wasn't fond of it.
Super impressed.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this game in general. So it's kind of a pass for me.
Yeah, if you have 3 other buddies that are willing to like do this with you, it's probably a blast. But everybody I played with was a complete idiot and just purposely got me killed.
That's the problem with these games. It starts off you like stealthily infiltrate a bank, and then there's always one player who's like the weakest player in the group, and they're always messing up.
Yeah,
so I guess we're
purposefully. Yeah.
Or purposefully, yeah. But even if like us 3 played and we grabbed someone else that we knew, there would be a weak player and they would constantly be triggering alarms.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
It's I don't know. Again, if you've got 3 other friends that you trust, this could probably be a blast. But that's it's hard to do these days. The next one is Persona 3 Reload, which I'm assuming is a remake of Persona 3. Can you confirm that? Okay. Do we even need to talk about that since it's a remake?
This one and the next one probably not, because I think we're just not too big on Persona. It'll probably be good for those that are interested.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have these titles on something other than PlayStation. One, this is probably only interesting to me, but the Sea of Thieves gets a Monkey Island crossover. Why did they not do this sooner? So with LucasArts and Rare have combined their pirate games together to make one expansion for Monkey Island. It looks like you're going to be doing for the Sea of Thieves. It looks like you're going to be doing some Monkey Island tomfoolery in Sea of Thieves, which comes out July 20th. So I'm checking that out. I know you probably guys aren't interested in that, but
I mean, I still like Sea of Thieves, but it's when I get on a voyage, it is for hours. So
yeah, it is usually there. Oh, that the Pirates of the Caribbean, when you first get into that fog or whatever, and you're just slowly moving across. I mean, I think it felt like 20 minutes of just like slowly moving, and then you go into the game itself. I thought it was loading or something, but yeah, maybe this will be better. That one had some fun points, but it dragged, man. It really did drag.
Yeah. But it's good that I like, to me, like them announcing this sort of thing. It feels like Microsoft is at a good mature point with a lot of their live service games.
Yeah, and this makes sense. I mean, when you have crossovers like Optimus Prime being in Fortnite, doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to, but it doesn't make sense. Monkey Island and Sea of Thieves, or Sea of Thieves and Pirates of the Caribbean, it makes perfect sense. They're all pirates. So I guess next is Treasure Island, or I don't know, probably some random TV show.
What could be next?
I don't know. Space Pirates, or Ice Pirates. Anybody ever see
Mutiny
that?
on the Bounty. Mutiny on the Bounty.
You could do that.
That's a movie that's been remade a bunch of times.
that would be fun. Or what's the Russell Crowe movie? Master and Commander. You could do that.
that they need to do that one.
Take down Russell
because
Crowe.
of the memes.
Right. God. Anyway. Okay, and then this was kind of a surprise. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which you get to fly the Dune Dragonfly ship, which is actually pretty cool. But this is I don't know. Well, it's on Game Pass. Who cares? But this comes out November 3rd. Sorry, and it's got a whole slew of new stuff. Apparently, you can take out fires with your plane and things like that.
It seems like a lot more activities
to
make it more of a game. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So, I didn't really see this coming so soon.
About this one, I had something to say about it, but I totally forgot. So keep going.
Okay, we can come back to it. We got a trailer for Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which still is not really gameplay. Looked good, sound good, but
I gotta talk about this.
We didn't really see anything new.
Scott, can I say something?
No.
Say it.
Of course you can.
We got a graphical downgrade on this one.
You think so?
Oh, no. Don't. It's very clear we got a graphical downgrade.
The last thing they showed was her fighting on the beach of that giant troll or whatever. That looked amazing.
This looks pretty...
This didn't look like anything. I mean, it didn't really have anything in it to compare it to other than her.
The character model, yeah.
So it's looking kind of hit and miss with it.
I feel like you can show off a cave with water on the ground that looks visually boom.
The reflections and everything, yeah.
This did not look that amazing. And I will say also, this is a horrible trailer because it's like you're essentially listening to an audiobook for 90 seconds. She's just staring at a puddle and then at the end she falls in the puddle.
Yeah.
So you're just listening to dialogue.
This trailer should start with put your headphones on because that's what the game starts with. It's like you need.
Yeah, it sounded great at the theater I was at.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, because this used binaural audio, and it recommended you wearing headphones with it. So the trailer should too. But outside of that, though, it really didn't show anything new. This was not. This is not a. After the last trailer, this is not the next trailer you show.
No,
this is what you show before fighting on the beach. So
we're very early.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You know why they showed it? They want to set expectations in terms of the graphics now. They're like, this is really what we're going to be giving you guys.
Yeah, it's going to slowly, they're going to show a trailer of it just getting to where it looks worse than the first one
It's going to be one of those PS1 makes. Yeah.
30 FPS.
Oh, man. Don't even say that. But yeah, I mean, this is... Anyway, so enough with that. This was supposed to be an Unreal 5 / Xbox Series X showcase, and really not presenting it that way. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Okay, next. This is
I am interested.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. But this is like the spin-off series too.
This is the spin-off of the spin-off, right? This is the funny one, right? This is the one that has a lot of humor.
The jokey one. It's turn-based, probably.
Yeah.
So not for everyone.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Okay, that guy wakes up on the beach and he stands up and he's in the buff. He's in the buff. He's wearing his birthday suit. It takes him about an hour to realize what's happening.
Yeah, that's kind of like probably like on brand with the character.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so
really?
he's like
he's pretty silly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a little bit of a drinker, maybe.
Okay.
Well, the next was Fallout 76 Atlantic City.
Next. Press the next button.
I don't care anything about that.
I'm interested, but it didn't show anything. That's the problem. I really like the jingle, though. The jingle was pretty catchy.
Yeah. Don't play that game. Capcom reveals Path of the Goddess. That looked
cool.
This looked kind of like Wulong to me.
Do you remember Okami? It reminds me a little bit of it.
Okay, yeah. That's a better, that's a better description. It looked beautiful.
Yeah.
But do you know what you're doing in the game?
No.
Did you?
I mean,
feel
it's
like
obviously a fighting game. It's combat, but
Yeah, it's probably closer to Wulong.
yeah,
than-
that's
You know
what
what?
I'm thinking.
At one point in the trailer, the main character, I think the playable character, goes up to like 4 AI, and he like presses a button, and then a circle pops up, kind of like Minecraft Legends, where he like gets control of the 4 AI.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I guess that's not like
I think he
DMC.
kills them, doesn't he? I forget.
I know, because then they shot like arrows at like a tower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a strategy game. Yeah, again, it just doesn't. It didn't really convey what the game is.
What it was.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they show more. They will show more at the Capcom show.
They did.
I could be wrong.
They
They
showed the
didn't?
exact same
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, Towerborne is from the Banner Saga creators. Did you guys play that? Any of
No.
that? I
No.
tried. I really couldn't get into it. It was more of like
This
reading
is different.
a book.
This is different, right? It's a co-op adventure.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah.
We'll see.
Guys,
We'll see.
guys, I have a question for you. Is this a roguelike? They said it's an ever-changing world, and then there's that hex view from above, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like a co-op game, and I'm thinking, like, how do you make a co-op game? Like, you can't make an 80-hour co-op game. No one can coordinate for 80 hours. But what you can do, you can make like a short roguelike co-op.
Possibly.
Have I lost my mind?
Potentially.
Potentially. I
They
don't
didn't
know.
say too much, right?
They
Right.
didn't, and
I
of course, yeah. Is this a strategy game? Is this It's
Right.
yeah. Again,
It's an adventure game. is what
It's
they said,
coming in
right?
2024.
This was one of my most impressive games. I dug this game.
Did you?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stuck out for
You
you.
want it? This is what
Yeah.
you want to know more about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. The next one would be Still Wakes the Deep. I like this. This looks like a horror game on an
Yeah, it's from the
abandoned oil
makers.
rig. That's how
Oh, yeah,
creepy is that?
From the makers of Dear Esther. That
Yeah.
really,
Oh yeah.
The Chinese room.
Yeah.
Chinese
Chinese
room.
room.
Yeah. Those games were good, but they were more of story driven. They're more like a graphic novel or like a
Yeah.
walking
I didn't like
simulator
that
novel.
one too much.
This one does
yeah.
not look like that. This one looks like a straight up horror game. So again, we'll find out more. But I know Nate, you don't like horror games, right?
Yeah, I'm
So
no.
you're out. Okay.
Yeah.
And then this one, Dungeons of Hinterberg.
Honestly, don't remember this one too well.
This
I might
is
have
the
been
one
losing
with
my.
the girl that's in a very normal looking.
Cel-shaded.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
cell
okay, now I
shaded. It's
got
a
it.
very normal looking house, and she goes out and starts fighting. That
It
looks like
a little
it's just
generic.
It just looks. I mean, it looks like you're fighting in dungeons in Holland or somewhere. So I know Nate's not gonna like it.
I want to ask you. Oh, the Dutch. That's right. I want to ask you. I want to ask you a question though. There's a mechanic in video games that a lot of video games have. It's you jump on the rail and you do the little swoop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you mean
Jet
like,
grind radio.
Yeah,
There's a lot of those
yeah.
types of games. Fortnite has that big right now.
right?
As a mechanic, are you guys down with that mechanic? I never like it. I'm like, get me off this rail. It's too linear. It's like I'm playing Uncharted.
The only time I like that is playing. What's the name of it?
Sunset Overdrive.
No, SSX Tricky. You remember that the snowboarding game?
Snowboarding game.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you're not like magnetized to the rail like these other.
yeah. You
games,
can
right?
jump off and go to another rail, or you can
Yeah.
do tricks and yeah. If you're like magnetized to it until you get to its no thanks. I mean that's just that's basically a rail shooter.
Right.
They
also-
did do it in was it Hi-Fi Rush? A little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why you got to ruin the
Yeah, they did.
podcast, Thick?
I gotta
that
bring
back
it up every other episode.
There you go. This is also coming out in early 2024, and it's going to be on Game Pass. It could
I'll
be
play it.
interesting, but I don't know. That art style kind of turned me off on it.
That's fair.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls Online Necron comes out on June 20th.
Don't play this game.
Yeah, don't play this Thick.
On this game, no, you can play this game if you want to. It's fun.
Okay, but we can't play Fallout 76.
Right,
Thick.
yeah.
Thick. You want to play Fallout 76 after this?
But
We
what?
can.
Yeah, if you download Elder Scrolls Online, don't play it. Immediately uninstall it, and then go get Guild Wars 2. It's a much better game. City Skylines 2 is coming to Game Pass this fall. This is I tried to play the first one. I fell asleep.
It's kind of hard.
It is. Well, it's a sim game. I mean, if you like sim games, this is probably really good. It comes out on October 24th, so
keeps Game Pass diverse at least. So
yeah. This one might be better. It might keep my attention. Nate, is this something that you're interested in?
Oh heck no.
No, yeah.
The closest thing I kind of like those Civilization games. But any more in depth than that, I'm out.
I'll play Age of Empires, and that's about as far as I want to go with making civilizations.
Yeah.
And then climbing game, Gisant, I guess, is that how you say it?
Gisant, I think.
Yeah, this was another Fortnite-looking game where apparently all you do is climb. So, yeah.
It is by Don't Nod, which made Life is Strange, and they also made, what was that other game, Remember Me, a while ago?
They did, and they also made the game that we didn't like earlier with the ghost.
Yeah, I saw that one
They
too.
make a lot of diverse games. But, this one just didn't poke out to me.
I know they have a demo for this on Steam, so I'm going to check it out probably this week.
Yeah, I'm going to check out a couple of demos as well. So that was pretty much the show. And as you notice, I did emphasize that we got dates on these games. We know what's coming out next year. Whether we like it or not, we've got some interesting things, which Sony failed to do. Sony didn't give us that. Sony didn't say anything about what was coming out next year. As far
Scott,
as
you missed a big game, Scott.
Well, we're going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
That concludes this expo, and then, sorry, the showcase, and then the next one is the big one. But yeah, they're showing what we're getting next year from Xbox. So I thought that was good. That's what I didn't like about Sony's showcase, is that they didn't really show what was going on. So then after that, they went into, Todd Howard came out with his leather jacket and his probably
natural hair,
$400 colored hair, and showed us gameplay on Starfield. So obviously at 30 frames per second. What did you guys think about this gameplay? What do you think about this game after watching that?
I think. Okay. Let me have Nate go first.
No. I want to hear you.
You have to go first. I want to hear your opinion first.
I'm super conflicted about it.
Really? Okay.
I feel like I wanna drink this Kool-Aid, right? Like, I like Star Trek. I like the concept.
Yeah.
Landing on planets, you're figuring out what the culture of the planet is.
Right.
And yet, I wrote down it's a 30-minute video, right? Or maybe even longer than that. And then I'm like, well, what are they pushing to the front of that video? And then what are they kind of trying to hide? Right? So what they're pushing to the front of it, a lot of human beings, we're watching human beings talk. Well, inspirational music plays in the background.
And I like the music.
I like the music too, but
I'm not a fan.
I don't love how much time was absorbed by, like, oh, we're watching Todd Howard face talk for 2 minutes. Like, this could potentially be better spent watching the game, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of time is spent on UI and customization. And to me, do I love UI? Do I love customization? I don't in my games. I like, Halo. I like just getting out of the ship and shooting stuff.
Yeah.
So those types of things kind of scare me a little bit.
Okay.
Right?
That is the thing with the Bethesda game. I think it's very UI heavy because there's so many systems in the game.
Right. And some people love that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I love that. That's exactly what they didn't show from Avowed. That's what I wanted to see with Avowed, when you show all of this gameplay and then show me the character creation. What does that look like? What can I do with my character? What are the classes I can play? They didn't show any of that stuff. With this, they showed everything, which looked fantastic. And their player models look way better than their last every game. So that's been updated, obviously. But right now, one thing that they didn't show, they showed a little bit of it, but they didn't show like first-person gameplay. They didn't step back and go, okay, we're going to watch Bob play this segment.
Take down it. Yeah.
Right. They didn't show that. They showed segments. And I'm afraid it's because it's not a stable 30 frames per second. I think that they're not showing it dips. They're showing you the best possible segments of that gameplay. Mm-hmm. So they're saying it's a consistent 30, and that's what they want because they want all the fidelity. But we're gonna have to see. So
yeah. There's been a couple of mentions, like, because everyone, once it was announced it was 30, there's been a couple talks by them. I think Todd did mention it's not GPU bound, it's a CPU bound thing, but they're opting to do 30, and in some cases it can definitely reach 60, and who knows what that exactly means. But it does seem like the 30s is what they're keeping. And
they're trying to make a consistent 30 instead of a non-consistent 60.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess I get that. In that kind of game, you probably want to retain as much detail as you can because the systems that you're using are based on that detail. Like when you go up and walk up and pick something up, it's not something where you click on and you read it. You actually pick it up and read it,
Yeah.
But that aside, just the ship customization, the character customization, the things that you can do in the game, the factions, they showed a little bit of that, but they didn't show enough of, it's like, oh, these people want you to do this and these people want you to do that. Most people that play these games, much like me, I was like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to go do this. I'll do that 50 hours from now. I'm going to go do this, So what is that this, And one thing I did notice is when you're in your ship and you come into that Atlantis or whatever, the planet that has the big city on it. Yeah. The ship comes in and scans you, and it says no contraband detected.
Yeah,
meaning
I saw that.
You can have contraband on your ship. So I'm guessing that you can get in situations where if you're smuggling something and they scan you, well then it's a fight, or then you got to something like that. So they hinted to that a little bit. So yeah, I think you can probably totally be Han Solo and be a space pirate. But personally for me, I like the aesthetics of the game. I like that it's rooted in NASA style,
punk.
Ship aesthetics and suit
NASA
aesthetics.
punk, right?
Right, that's what they call it. But at the same time, it looks like, everybody has that tech, so it's all a little bit different here and there. But the character.
Can you guys think of another thing? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Can you guys think of another game with similar graphics? Like I feel like the graphic style is very well defined towards the game. Like I can't think of anything else that kind of.
Yeah, I think if you see a picture of this, you're going to know it's Starfield.
Yeah.
It's going to be identifiable. Especially if there's a NPC, model in it, because you're that's Starfield. And some of those characters did not look great.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know. Is that important? I mean, how important is graphics to a game like this? We know it's going to be huge. I mean, a giant game, and if it's filled with tons of stuff to do and tons of side quests and all of these activities and all these things that you can do on your own. To me, it doesn't really matter if that character looks, last gen or next gen or whatever. But
I agree.
I don't know. What are you agree with that? I don't think it has to look like the best game ever. Nate, what do you think?
I would say to me it's jarring. It's jarring watching that, but I don't know if 10 hours in, if the game has enough hooks in me, I'm like, oh, I don't care about that. Like I care about the dialogue, I care about the story. But just watching that presentation, I'm like, oh, they stand pretty stiff, those NPCs.
Yeah.
The head kind of wobbles a little bit, but
yeah. Well, from my experience playing Bethesda games, I can tell you that like playing Oblivion, and I think anybody that played it will agree. When you're when you start off in the game, and Patrick Stewart comes up to you, and says, hey, we need to get out of here, whatever. You're like, this doesn't look that, geez. And then you go through the dungeon, and you're like, okay, this looks better. I can kind of see the detail and the bloom effect, and okay. But it's not until you get outside, when you actually get out into that world, and you look around and you realize that, here's a lake, here's a pier, here's some, ancient ruins, and you can go over there, and you can go here, and you can go there, and it just opens everything up for you. That's that realization that you're in a Bethesda game, and you can kind of go do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Skyrim. You go through this little story segment, and then when you get out, and to me, in both instances, the graphics are not really what captures me. It's not like this is the best looking game I've ever played. It's not. Right. It's just that, just like Todd Howard says, it's like that thing over there. You can go and you can, do it. And he does that in the
stories
trailer.
you get into.
Right. Yeah. It's going from point A to B, what happens between A and B. Mm-hmm. And that's what excites me. He had a lot of
Easter eggs.
Yeah, he did. He said something, and see that moon over there? You can go to that moon. So, yeah, I mean, that is exciting. For me, someone that likes RPGs and someone that likes exploration games, to find things on my own and not have, your character going, oh, maybe I should go that way, or, oh, maybe I should put these flowers together and make a potion, or, ooh, maybe I should eat this, or maybe I should attack that. You don't get that in these games. And I think that might be one of the reasons that a lot of people that are used to those games and that really enjoy those games don't necessarily get. They look at this like, oh, well, this is a bad game because it's not telling me what to do. Mm-hmm. It's a good game because it's not telling you what to do. Mm-hmm. So when you get to that point where you're doing A, B, and C, and all of those are fun, and the characters you're with are interesting, and the characters that you're talking to are interesting, and what you're doing is interesting. That's when it starts clicking, and you're like, oh my God, I've been playing this game, for 40 hours, and I feel like I haven't even scraped it. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Thick, what was your impression of it?
It looked a lot better than what we previously saw. I thought everything was mostly an upgrade. Like
like
I
mean,
it has
needs
a really
it's using a 22-year-old engine.
yeah. I was really impressed with how, I didn't realize, I was only halfway through the direct and it was still going, and it's like I didn't realize they put a lot of details into the direct, and I'm sure people will be dissecting it for the next couple months.
Yeah,
I thought I saw on Reddit someone posted 400 pages of everything that has been shown about Starfield, and I think it might have been posted before this new video was shown off.
So there's some more.
There's some crazy people out there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube that has a Starfield channel that breaks down every single bit of information.
Right. Yeah.
That we get. So
Scott, this is day one without question for you, right?
Yeah, this is day one.
You don't have to think twice. I feel like, I kind of classify my games. I have a 1 through 4 system. 4 is day one. 3 is okay, I'm super interested, but I kind of want to know more. 2 is I'm kind of talking myself into it. Mm-hmm. This, I feel like I'm vacillating between 2 and 3, where I'm like, it might be fun. I might like it, but then I could see myself playing 4 hours of it and being like, I'm bouncing off. So, Thick, where are you at with it?
I mean, pretty much day one. I think this looks pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, there's really not much I can say about it. I guess I like everything I mostly saw. So
okay, all right. I guess it also helps that it's Game Pass. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a single player game, so it's we're not gonna have to worry about server issues or a terrible launch or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And given the extra time, I don't think anybody's ever given Bethesda extra time for a game. As far as I know ZeniMax is you need to get it out of this, and that's usually why they're buggy at launch. But supposedly this is the least buggy game right now, and it will be even less buggy. Upon release.
That's quite the bold quote to say. Well,
this is less buggy than any game we've ever made. Some of their bugs are hilarious. Some of the some of them are fun, but the game breaking ones are obviously not.
Yeah, but hopefully none of that at launch.
But yeah, I will be playing this on PC, not at 30 frames per second, and waiting for the mods. So which will probably show up 2 or 3 days later.
Oh yeah, and this is a Play Anywhere title. So
yes, they announced that today as well. Yeah.
Yep.
So if you play on PC and then you play on Xbox, your save is transfer it over.
Yeah, if you buy it on Xbox, you can
play
play
it on PC.
Yeah, on the Microsoft Store. Yep.
Okay. All right. So do you guys have any overall thoughts on, I guess the showcases are done. We're exhausted now, right? Although no, you said
there's something tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah. Xbox is doing something.
It's like extended showcase. It's probably just like more in-depth stuff that's not condensed.
Okay. So that might be cool to watch, but it's a little more cotton candy for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it could be like, an extensive look at Forza's, tire system or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
So are we going to upgrade our grading any? Are we okay with where we're at?
We got release dates, Nate. We know it's coming out next year. We didn't get that last time.
So there's I think there's 3 ways to grade these conferences, right? There's just your personal opinion, like how excited are you for these games?
Right.
For me, like you guys know, I'm like a multiplayer oriented, right? So like nothing really here piqued my interest that much.
No extractions, no BRs, no
Right.
No, I get it.
And it does, to me, I was surprised you guys went so low with your scores because it feels like the internet is doing like a celebration with this. They're like giving it A's. I think Jeff Keighley had a Twitter poll where it was overwhelmingly an A show.
I would think I would give an A, but I feel like I don't know what. Like I can't think of it immediately.
No, I mean, well, for me, an A is like you gave me what I wanted.
Right. Right.
I got what I wanted out of it, and I didn't get what I wanted out of it.
Right.
So no, it does not get an A from me.
Okay, I think I know why I marked it down. I would have given it like an A- or something, but where they said it was like they wouldn't show too many cinematics in a way. Like to me, like in game or CGI, it's both the same. There's a lot of missing gameplay in it, and that's where I was a little turned off. What I do like was how well paced it was. Like how you're talking about. You don't want something that's all hammer. I think they, hammered it in the beginning. Right. It was nice and slow in the middle, and they brought it back up. They paced it pretty well. I really like the pacing.
Yeah, I think coming out with Fable first, I think it was really smart. I think that set the tone for, hey, check this out, and just having, oh man, that trailer it's just funny, man. I love that guy. But yeah, it's. Having those dates and knowing, kind of when these things are coming out, I think is important. Even if they're, they did drop that, this is what's coming out in the next 12 months, which was dumb to do anyway, because nothing, half of these games could go into 2025. Who knows? But
yeah, that's still possible.
But they needed to show what these studios are working on. And not only did they show it, like have somebody come out and go, hey, here's a picture of the game we're working on. They actually showed us, like, in-game what it looks like. Maybe not so much what you're going to be doing in it, but they showed enough that they haven't before. We saw what In Exile's working on. Not only did they say, hey, this is what they're working on, but we got to see a good bit of, gameplay and cinematics in it. Compulsion Games, we got to see what they're working on.
Yeah,
which
both
before,
of these guys I wanted.
Before we had no idea.
Scott, you just said in Exile's game you felt like we understood it to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean I think so. It's a cyberpunk, not cyberpunk. Sorry, it's a steampunk. Right? But RPG with. What?
Is it a third-person RPG? Is it a first-person RPG? Is it a top?
It's first-person, right?
It's first person. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything they show is in first person, except for when they showed the character.
I guess the character did grab a gun, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you're right.
So that gives us an idea of it. It's more than like showing a big clock, right? A cinematic of a big clock, and then going Clockwork Revolution from In Exiles coming soon. This is what we got from Sony. It's like, what is that? What does that even mean? We don't even know what this is like. Hey, this is what we're working on. Check the game out. So, had they not done that, if they didn't show that enough of that, it wouldn't have gone well for them. They had to show this stuff, and it wasn't just, like cheap dime store, cinematics. We got to see a chunk of stuff. Fable, I wouldn't have dreamed they'd actually show in game what the characters look like, what the world looks like, and then having it be, having the humor there from the first game, like they did. So I think they did I think they did just a stellar job of it. I just didn't get what I wanted out of it, so that's why I give it a lower score.
Okay. Thick, do you mostly agree there?
Yeah. Definitely well produced. I think I give it a lot of props for that.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a good job.
All right. So you know how I said there's 3 ways to grade these shows? The third way to me is like you have to go back in time and look at 2017's E3 conference. Like time ultimately gives the final grade, right? And so I'm thinking about that, and I'm thinking, so with the PlayStation show, I feel like PlayStation's trajectory right now is we're gonna make big IP single player games, right? And we're gonna make a bunch of games as a service titles, right? So they're kind of that's their two salvos. With this showcase, I felt like they were making a bunch of new IP or lesser known IP, less surefire hit IP single player games. And I just thought that was pretty interesting how wide apart those two strategies are.
Yeah, there's definitely 2 different strategies.
Right.
I think with Sony, like they're really pretty much ending phase 1, I feel, before you get to like a phase 2, which seems more multiplayer focused, right?
We're in the intermission right now of that.
Intermission, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't they are working on Last of Us 3? Didn't they say that?
Yeah, but to me, Last of Us 3, that's a big IP. That's like a 20 million seller,
right?
potentially.
But that's it. Are they making another God of War?
No one knows.
I think Alana Pierce said they're making another Ghost of Tsushima.
Are they?
They're making, yeah, they are.
Okay.
Sucker Punch or whatever. I think God of War is. I know someone tweeted in the God of War dev team like this isn't the last you've seen of God of War or something like that.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like that.
Yeah. So
that game's gonna sell 15 million. So it seems like there's a chance there.
Yeah. So we're talking 5 years from now at least.
Right.
On any of this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But
I'm just saying it's like perception wise though, if you look at PlayStation's, I mean, you know what's coming. The live service games, they showed them no date. The only thing that we can say for sure is that Spider-Man 2 is coming out on October 20th. Past that, nothing, 0. I mean, that's just not like Sony to do that, and that's what makes it look. In contrast,
intermission.
Yeah,
that's why I'm like,
contrast, it's like, okay, we know what we're getting next year with Xbox. We don't know anything about PlayStation.
Right.
And that could change. They could pop up somewhere else. Strategically, who knows?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I guess I'm just like I think it's fascinating that strategy because they're very different strategies, and ultimately I'm like, if 2027 comes around and we're looking back at the showcase, there is a chance that 2 of the 3 of those games as service titles are like huge hits. They're like thriving. They're like
still around.
Massive moneymakers.
Yeah.
And then we're thinking like, well, there's a lot of Xbox games shown that like, those they're like Hi-Fi Rush type games, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You could say that, yeah. I know what you mean.
There's potential there for like everyone's saying like, oh, the Xbox Showcase did great, but I'm like, we'll see what it is in 3 years from now, right? So, and I guess you could say that.
Well,
year,
I can guarantee you that in 3 years from now, people are going to still be playing Starfield.
Yeah,
they're going to still be talking about it. They're going to still be any game that comes out with a spaceship in it is going to be compared to Starfield.
Yeah.
So
when you say that though, my brain goes like, well, so is Starfield coming out on Steam?
Yep.
So I'm like, in 3 years, where's Starfield going to settle on Steam charts? And I'm like, I could see it settling around 50, rank number 50, right?
50.
Yeah,
ahead of Star Citizen.
Well, right.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
But the reason why I'm saying that is I'm like, yeah, that could settle around there, and then I'm like, those games as service titles, they could be like massive games.
Yeah.
So it's like, I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I always like to go back and watch the old one, the previous year before the new one, and last year was not super great. And then of course now watching it a year later, it's kind of even worse because they showed a lot of Redfall and games that still aren't out. Or games that just got released,
Yeah, they led with Redfall for that one, right?
Yeah,
I think.
man, so again, a year later, when we go back and look at this, it could be like, man, that was well, now, we're playing Avowed right now. We're playing Starfield. We're playing, South of Midnight. Or it could be we're still waiting for these games. They released Starfield and we haven't seen anything past that. So
or one of them bombs again,
or both of them, or I mean, it could be anything. So we just kind of have to keep an open mind and hope for the best that these companies give us the goods. Like, I don't know, Gears 2 and 3 on PC, but whatever.
Guys, you hate when I do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay,
do it.
I want a Metacritic prediction on Starfield.
89.
Scott goes 89. Think about it.
Will this be an average over a course of like the first week, or
no? I'd say after
launch,
after a month, after a month.
Okay, a month. I'd say maybe 92.
92.
Mm-hmm.
And you said 89, Scott.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with. I'll go with 86.
Xbox tax. Take 2 points off.
Oh yeah. I forgot about 90.
All right. So, do you guys have any final comments for the show?
No, that's a great show. I'm still seeing trailers when I blink my eyes.
And we still got more to go.
Yeah, we'll talk about more of these, I guess, next week, and we can talk about the Ubisoft one next week because there was some okay stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Not as meaty as this week, but something to end the week.
Yeah, cool.
Guys, I hate that games are taking so long to develop. I hate it.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that's a real issue. Like, how can you spend 7 years making a game that is a risk?
I'm telling you that the AAA market is going to crash. It's going to just get to where it can't be sustainable, and we're all going to be playing
nothing but live service.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
you're very excited there. Yeah.
Scott, this is the part of the podcast where you tell listeners what to do.
Leave a comment below, hit the like button, and please subscribe on YouTube. And if you wanted the audio version, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, pretty much anywhere where you get your podcast. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Thick, take us home. Take us home, Thick.
All right. I got a quote.
All right.
It's a good one. Wow, it's a basic one. We obsess over food. by Todd. You remember that one?
we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want that watch. Man.
Oh yeah. I saw that. Okay. Talking about collector's edition real quick. I like it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get it. I wasn't able to get it.
Well, I don't usually get them either. Anyway. Maybe they can sell it separately. All right.
Guys, should we do this again? You think we should do this again next week?
I think so.
For episode 47.
Seven.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
All right. Signing out. See you on Monday.
All right. Happy gaming.